Hello, right, okay, so it's another day, and I've got the 4-pin female to 8-pin male connector ready to go in the machine to see if it'll actually post, because with this it will get the right amount of voltage to the CPU. So without further ado, let's give it a shot, shall we? Okay, if I'm right in my estimations now, I don't know if you can see it, but I have installed, it's right here, plugged in towards the back. I have installed that cable now. I've only got the main board power plugged in and a fan, couple of fans, nothing else. I just need to connect that VGA cable to the graphics card, because otherwise we ain't going to see anything. Just bear with me with that. If it's all shaky and jumping around, I'll just cut it. Alright, there we go. So we have the graphics output on. We have a monitor here, right there with that little light there it is. Now if this works, this board's going to be Ben's computer, so hopefully we should get enough power to the CPU. If it doesn't work, well, you know, I've got the cable to use for something else and the board's had it, but let's find out, shall we? Where's the button? The button's here somewhere. That's the reset button. Interesting, we don't have any, because I haven't switched it on the back. I feel like a moron. Okay. Ooh, interesting. It still does the same thing even with that plugged in. That's interesting. Well, it looks like I've got a little bit more work to do on this thing. See if I can identify why it's doing what it's doing. But for now, I'm going to have to stop filming. Just a little update on this old unit I've been working on. It had, if I can remember right, the PK5 Deluxe Intel 775 LGA 775 motherboard in it. And unfortunately, I did find, as in a previous video I haven't uploaded yet, but it all makes sense when I do, that that whole line of motherboards had always been faulty, and I wasn't really going to get anywhere with it. That doesn't mean to say that I've completely given up with it. I'm just not going to continue to use it for this project, because I've got a little replacement for it, somewhat a little bit more reliable, because obviously this is going to be sent away to a friend of my little brother's, who will then be able to play online on Star Trek Online and things with us, as well as playing on an Xbox. And it needs a board in it that's reliable. So I've actually got a board from an excellent eBayer. Don't know if I can see the name on my screen in a moment. Ah, there we go. Yeah, an excellent eBayer. I'm not going to bring the entire thing up, but let's just get that thingy. And here it comes. Yeah, I've got an Intel E5 1804302 socket LGA 775 motherboard, DQ45CB, from Black Moret on eBay. So shout out to Black Moret on eBay, thank you very much. They gave me 50% off, and I actually got the board for £10 instead of £19.99, because I'm actually building it for a friend of my little brother's. And I'm sending it over there to them for absolutely free, because it's always a pleasure to build computers when I can, and I'm always happy to build computers and do things, especially for people that are needy, young children, families that don't have a lot of money. I mean, I don't have a heck of a lot, but I'm always picking up spares, and I can always build something for a child or someone to have fun on, and I can always sort that out. Anyway, so this unit, oh, too far zoomed in. This unit is, it looks like it's nicotine stained on the front, but it's actually just, the plastic's just aged and it looks really old and dirty. I've got the fan control unit in the front of it there, and I've also got a card reader. That's actually a new card reader. Hasn't been used properly yet. But the case itself is filthy, it's covered in dirt. You can see all these, let me get a bit more light in here without overexposing it too much. So you can see all these dirty stains on the top of it, and I'm going to try and keep the monster stickers. I know it's an older case, but what I want to do is I'm going to spray it with some spray paint I have, and hopefully that'll tart it up enough. I'm not about to start cutting things, because I can't really cut metal in my condition, but I think I might be able to get some fans that will sit nicely in the front, a little bit like what I've got in my old Pentium 133 compact Despro 2000, if I just focus. That unit right at the bottom there under the CD drive, I could take the fascia off of that and spray that silver as well. And that encases 3 fans. That would give it a nice bit of airflow from the front. Other than that, I could probably just cut a hole down the bottom here maybe, with some help, and fit another fan there, and then just cover the top up. I'm going to put another drive above the LG, proper DVD drive, black one out of my drawer when I come across it. But the first thing I want to do is take the side panel off, or the whole piece comes off as one, and the front fascia. Just give them a little bit more of a clean, and then I'm going to use some spray paint on them. And hopefully it's going to look like real shiny metal once I finish with it, and not an aged piece of crap. Right, okay, so the box that's on top of the system here is actually, did actually arrive today from Black Moret, or Moret, however you pronounce it, and I've unboxed it. Have a quick look. And this is our nice little motherboard. It's a very nice motherboard. It's in really good condition. Let's just adjust that a bit. There we go. Yeah, it's looking good. It's QC passed, and you can see on all the capacitors on here, they've all been checked for functionality. And they're all good, so this is a full-on, definitely working board from a reputable seller, and even the CPU socket has got a nice sticker on it that says that it's QC passed. I know it's upside down from here, but anyway, its warranty is only void if the CPU socket pins are damaged, so I might have a little warranty on it. This board obviously takes Core 2 quads. You can get up to a 3 GHz. I'm going to be putting a 2.5 in this board from my Dell, because I've just managed to get myself a 266. A 2.5 is more than adequate for playing the games that we play on PC, like The Forest and most of those games that you find on Steam. A lot of them only take a dual core processor. Excuse me, any of the bigger ones we generally play on Xbox One anyway. So this will be more than adequate. It can take up to 8 GB of DDR2 RAM, 800 MHz, and that's what we're looking for. And I've even got a backplate for it, which is nice, because 9 times out of 10 I'll buy a board, and here we go, and it doesn't have a backplate, but this one actually does come with a backplate, so I can actually put it in the unit and mount it properly, which is really good. But the first thing I want to do, or I'm going to have to do, is obviously put this back in the box, take the front piece of the unit off. That's not focused, just a second. There we go. Let's just adjust. I'm actually using a desk lamp as my light source. It does pretty well, as long as it's not directly in line with the bloody camera. Hang on, let's do this. So here we are, I've just removed my light source, which is still pissing my camera off. If I poke it down like that. There we go. So yes, I'm going to have to I'll use this as a pointer. Hello. I'm going to have to remove the front cover, take the slide the whole case off, because this slides off as a complete piece. And you know, and then I'm going to spray paint the whole plastic bit after I give it a clean, and this part, and I'm going to try and save the monster stickers and see if I can put them back on. I'm not sure if I can, but you know, it does look kind of cool, the monster stickers. Not really my cup of tea, but I found them for free, and I know that the person I'm sending them to will really like them. And I've got to try and save my old crunch sticker on the front, because you don't find those anymore. Can't remember if that came out of an old cereal packet or something in the late 80s, early 90s, I can't remember. But yeah, I've got to get this thing spray painted. I'm going to have to take out that crappy PK5 board that's still in there, put that to one side for a later project, see if I can get it to work again at another point. And then, once this is all spray painted up, I'm going to start the processes of rebuilding a PC, and then I'm going to have Windows 10 Home Edition on this, which is an edition I got online for, not for free, you know, I've actually bought it, but from a reputable reseller who, I'm just looking for something that's evading my vision. Right here. No, it's actually right here. I don't know where the heck it's gone though. wonder if I can focus in on it. Let's try it. Come on, come on. Happy Halloween, motherfucker. What are you? What's so happy? I'm an old toy collector. We just cleaned out our cupboards the other day and I found Predator. Hey! So that's going to go up on my shelf. I have many shelves of stuff. I'll showcase them at some point. But yeah, Predator. Well, anyway, what I'm looking for should be... Yeah, Predator. You just entertain people with a couple of jokes or stupid noises you make. And I'll find what the heck it is I'm looking for. I know what it is I'm looking for. I can't bloody see it. I was looking at it for... Oh, right in front of my face. There we go, Predators, enough from you. Yes, I got some nice Windows 10 stickers. So they're going to be going on the unit. Well, one of them's going to be going on the unit when it's finished. I've already charted up my other ones that I built that didn't have one. As they've all gone up to Windows 10. And obviously I don't know if I'll ever upgrade the operating system on them again. They've already been on 3. You know, and how far can you go with it? I think Windows 10 is supposed to be around for the next 10 years. So after that it'll probably be new units. Oh, I can't seem to focus in on it, but yeah. There it is on my system there. So that makes my gaming system look good. Bit of googly eyes. Hee. So yes, let's get the let's get back around here. Get the panels and everything off. Take them in the kitchen. We'll load a newspaper, and I'll show you the spray paint I've got that was left over from something my father was doing. I'm going to use that to my advantage and tighten this system up. So watch this space. Okay, so I've removed the front plate from the PC. I've taken off the A-Open sticker, which was here at the bottom. I've taken the monster sticker off, which has got residue from other stickers from behind it. I've taken out both LEDs and the reset button. That all popped out nicely from the back, you can see there. I'm just going to give this a good old clean. Just prep it up. And put a little bit of newspaper down and just give it a little spray and see what happens. And the spray I'm going to be using, Deco style metal effect spray paint, left over from a job my father was doing months ago. It's been sat in my tool cupboard, and the colour is going to be somewhat close to the cap, so you'll see the cap. That's the colour it's going to be once I've sprayed it. Obviously it's flammable and whatever else, the irritant. But I think it's going to be pretty good, and it's made in Germany, so it's got to be good, isn't it? Some of the best engineering in the world in Germany. So let's crack on and clean this bleeding thing, I suppose. Well, just put a coat of paint on it after cleaning it. It has got some runs in it, unfortunately, so I'm not happy. But I don't really like having runs when I spray paint. So I'm going to see if I can tidy that up in a bit. I might have to rub it again and do it again, but it's not easy for me to spray paint in my condition, so I might just have to settle for what I can do. See what it's like when it dries, or I might just put another coat on it. Yeah, I mean, whichever way, it's not going to be a crappy white thing. I'm not sure if this paint's taken to this particularly well. I've got a couple of points here that don't seem to be happy, like this corner that seems to have just completely resisted. Not sure what that is. That might be where I cleaned some original paint off. But I think it'll still look okay when it's finished. Not going to be fantastic, but it's going to be okay, you know, and the computer's going to work well, so I just need to get a bit more practice in with the old spray painting skills. But for a first attempt, I don't think it's too bad. But we'll come back to it later. Hey, Spoon313 here. Quick update on the front panel of the PC. It didn't quite take as well as I wanted it to, so what I've gone and done is I've rubbed it down with a bit of sandpaper, and I'm going to give it a respray and see if I can eliminate the runs in the crap for it not taking. And it's getting quite sticky and sticking on my hands, which isn't good, and I left it for well more than the maximum drying time. The front fascia was dry, but any parts of the edges just remained sticky, so I'm going to respray it and hope for the best. Okay, and voila, the runs are gone. I've rubbed it down and resprayed it, Unfortunately, I got a little bit of grit in the paint. Excuse me. Please focus, camera. You're being a douche. Thank you. There we go. Oh, I got a little bit of grit in the top, unfortunately, but I'm not about to rub it down again to get rid of that. I've built it up in layers this time and try not to put too much on. I'm not too worried if there's a little run underneath there at the bottom, as long as there's not runs actually on the face of the thing that are noticeable, which they're not, because all the runs are gone. But I think that's going to look absolutely fantastic when it's on the machine, and I'll put the A open sticker back on it and the Windows 10 sticker, and then all I've got to do is just spray the metal casing, which should be a bit easier. It's a flat surface, but that's not going to be happening today. I may do that tomorrow, I may not, we'll find out. But I'm going to at least get this front fascia nice and dry and fit back onto the computer, and empty out everything on the inside, ready for the new boards that come in, put inside. But first I do need to empty my Dell PC, my personal Dell Studio, of its processor and the graphics card, as I have a 2GB massive GeForce card to go in there. It's a GDDR3 one, but it's huge. It's a really good GDDR3. So I'm going to take the 1GB DDR5 out and put that in the computer for Ben, because that one's, you know, remarkably good for playing Star Trek and other games. Most games on Steam that'll run on pretty much high settings. I played Alien Isolation on the highest settings on that card. Pretty damn good. And he's going to have the 2.5 Core 2 Quad processor that's in there, and that will be upgraded to a 2.66 that I got through the post the other day. So once I've upgraded my Dell Studio, I'll have all the parts I need, plus the board that I've got through the post that's been tested and does work, ready to build a PC for Ben. So until then. Hello, Spoonstream13 here. My office, as you can see, is a mess, and apart from that, we have our reasons. My wife's actually pulling around the place around and tidying it with me or for me, because I can't do it myself. And you'll notice in front of me that there's a case with no side panels and no front fascia and some bits and bobs on top. Now, this computer here is going to be Ben's computer that I'm building for him out of all the spare parts I have hanging around my office that I don't use or don't need. And I'm building it so he can actually join us online when we play things like Star Trek Online, Trove, Roblox, because recently he's just been playing on a laptop which only runs Roblox and nothing else. And we do a lot of our hardcore gaming on the Xbox One, but there's many games that we play on a PC, like The Forest as well as others, and he wants to join in with us, but he can't build a PC himself and he can't afford them. So I'm sorting him out a PC, which doesn't have the original guts that used to be in this case. This case used to be a PC that I built for my sister a few years ago. She's gone from desktops to laptops. So I've got the case spare, and I have actually finished spray painting the front of the case, which I did on another video. I don't know why I keep tipping my camera like that, because it's bloody annoying, isn't it? I'm just zooming over here. You'll see that the front fascia is now silver. I put the monster sticker back on it. I wanted to spray the case. There's the actual casing parts over there. I want to spray that silver too, but the spray paint makes my wife feel ill, and it took me a long time to get the paint to actually take, especially with all the staining on the plastic. It was trying to resist it a little bit there. So anyway, what I'm going to do today is start building this PC. So on the top here, let's move in. I still have the HPK piece of shitty crap deluxe. Right, my camera went off there. When I touch the zoom button, it seems to piss arse around. I still have the PK5 piece of crap deluxe quad-core board in there that doesn't work with the 8-pin power connection. I'm going to be whipping that out. I'm going to be replacing it with this board here, which I have shown in a video, but I don't know if I've actually uploaded it just yet. It's going to be one of my acquisitions videos anyway, so you're going to be seeing this again. But a brand new quad-core board that's been tested and was nicely sold to me for £9.99 cheaper than the original price. So I got it for £10. I got it for £10, and because I said to them I was building a PC for someone for free, and the only thing I didn't have was a working motherboard, they let me have this for £10, and this has been completely QC passed, as you can see by that label there. and it's ready to rock and roll. So we shouldn't have any problems installing this board. And it's got its own back plate as well, so that'll be another milestone out of the way. No gaps on the back of the board. The processor is going to be, you won't be able to see because I've got to clean this CPU off with my TIM kit, but it's going to be a Intel Core 2 Quad 2.5, so it'll have 10 gigs of processing power, which I've been running in my Dell Studio for a long time, but I've just upgraded to a 266. I only use it for very light gaming on certain things, playing Duke Nukem High Resolution Pack, and editing all of my videos. And then the graphics card that my other computer used to have in was the HD 5870, which I've just taken out. It's a beautiful card. It's a 1GB GDDR5 Radeon card with two 6-pin power connections, and it works like an absolute charm. It actually was thrown away by somebody a long time ago, and I've come into possession of it, and it actually works lovely. I've been running it for years. This GDDR5 card. I've just taken it out of my Dell Studio because I've just upgraded the Dell Studio to a 2GB GeForce 2GB flipping it's a GDDR3 card, but it's a big card. I'll have to bring it up on the screen and tell you exactly what that is, but that's not important right now. The important thing is we have a working graphics card, we have a processor, we have a board. I do have 4GB of Kingston RAM on me. I mean, believe it or not, like I said, I've actually played FIFA 17 on 4 gigs of RAM and no problems. So the games we want to run perfectly well on 4 gigs of RAM. This is Kingston 6400U. If that's going to focus or not, I don't know. I can't press the button because my hands are. There we go. Oh, it's just going to mess around. Look at that camera. Useless, absolutely useless sometimes. But it is 6400. I'm going to read it for myself so I can't see for the viewfinder. Yeah, it's PC26400U, 800 MHz RAM. Fully tested, fully working RAM. So it'll at least have 4 in it. It's enough to play Star Trek and Trove and The Forest and some of the fun things we do on PC. And later on I could always... Well, I don't know if I'll be able to upgrade it for him because he lives in Wales. So I'm going to be shipping this off to Wales. But I'm also going to give him a keyboard to go with it. I have a little mouse I need to fix. But the first thing I want to do is pull the crap out of this board, out of this case, put the front panel on, and build it up and see where we get. So I'm going to jump cut to my progress. See you soon. I've now got the board removed, which is over there underneath that bubble wrap. The new board's about to go in. But the first thing I'm going to do before I put it in is to put the processor in, give it a blob of thermal paste, in the proper way using the blob technique. I'm going to fit it with this Freezer Pro 7. The bottom's slightly discoloured, but I have TIM cleaned it. There's no burrs, it's still nice and flat, and it's copper bottomed. I'm using that for gaming, which will produce more heat, put more stress on the CPU. This should help to keep it cool. A lot cooler than the stock cooler I had in it before, and plus the fan's a lot bigger. The case is very big. I've left panels off the back so the airflow can work very well. It's also got a fan in the front, which is all connected to a connector where you can, it's all variable. You can up the speed or down the speed, whichever. So I'm going to get this fitted on. Pop that there. And I'm just cleaning the CPU, which is on my desk here a minute. I've just cleaned the top of it off. It's nice and clean. Just waiting for my TIM kit stuff to dry, which does not take very long. Oh, don't you just love it when it's not zoomed, when it's not focused? Wait for that to dry. Yeah, screw that focus. And then we'll get that fitted on, and then we'll get the board fitted in, and then start fitting everything else. We'll jump cut to that. Alright, so the board's in with the Freezer Pro 7. I've got the RAM in. The wiring's a little messy, I'll sort that out in a bit, it's not quite so important right now. It's got an Arctic 600 watt power supply in, it was in another one of my videos, which the fan inside is controlled by this fan controller on the front here. Probably can't see that. It controls up to three or four fans, 3 fans. But I've come across a very common problem, and that is that when you're using slightly older cases, you get this power connector here. It's the power LED, and it runs off of 2 pins, but it's been split so it can reach a pin further, because a lot of other boards actually have the positive and the negative of the power LED split across you know, there's a pin space between them. But on this more modern motherboard, the power connector, sorry, the power LED needs to be a standard connection with the two pins right next to each other, like everything else, and it needs to plug in right here next to the hard drive LED. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quite literally just cut the plastic. Can't see because I'm putting shadows over it, my bad. I'm quite literally just going to cut the plastic right down the middle there, and just bring the two pins together and then plug them in the board, and that will solve the problem. So I'm going to do that, and there we are. I fitted it in there. I would show it a bit more, but my phone's light is just batteries ran out, so I can't use the light to get a close up, but it's now fitted in right here. So we'll see if that works properly once it's all together. I'm also going to get the front plate from up the top there and fit that into the machine now as well. Okay, I've had to stop building the computer again. There's a major problem with the motherboard that I bought online. It was bought used. It had all the QC stickers and everything on it, and I thought, well, I shouldn't have to test that before I put it in. It should, you know, it's all QC. It should be working. I've connected everything to it, and it just would not power on. I was already annoyed enough by the spray paint I've used for the plastic, which just doesn't. It is dry, but it seems to leave thumbprints on it and look quite tacky, which really pees me off because the finish was really nice. But the paint itself is literally just crap, so it's never going to look perfect. So that's annoyed me a little bit. But the fact that a board I bought used from a reputable seller, that was a buy it now, it was only £10, like I said, because they gave me £9.99 off from £19.99. You know, I get it home, and it, you know, it's been sat in my office for a couple of days until I was, you know, able to just have a quick go at putting it together in this system here. Also waiting for that bloody paint to dry over there. Yeah, that's a connector off a power supply that I also... Oh no, it's not. That's my light. Sorry, Homer Simpson. But yes, there is a small chip on the motherboard that as soon as the power is switched on, it will just overheat on the board, and you could touch it with your finger and it would scald you. It's that hot. And that's before the board's even actually powered on, if you know what I mean, because I can't get it to power on because it won't work. All it'll do is take in a little bit of mains power, and it's got a little green power LED that's built onto the board, which tells you it has power in it. And that light's actually a little bit too dim as well, which is telling me that it's not getting the right amount of power in the board. It's not circulating properly. And when I pushed against the main power connection slightly, the board tried to come on and then went off, and that tells me there's a short in the board, and that's why the small chip is just overheating, because it's getting all the voltage, and the voltage can't continue anywhere else because it's literally broken. So I've had to contact the seller, and I'm now waiting a reply for a replacement, and hopefully when I get a replacement I'll get one that works. I will also, of course, endeavour to send the board back to them for their analysis, see if they can repair the chip. You know what I mean? I'm not going to spend my time trying to repair the board when I bought it in good faith as a working piece of equipment. I'd just rather just send it back and, you know, get a replacement. If it was a you know, parts are not working board, then fine. You know, that's the risk you take. But this one was bought used, you know, used but in a working, fully working condition, and it's not working. I will put a picture up at the end of this. This is a picture I've sent them, which shows the chip that's overheating. And other than that, this has really just sort of stopped me in my tracks. I also haven't got another 6-pin power connector, so I can't even put the bloody graphics card in it that I want it to. But I'm not going to go pulling the board back out for now. I'm going to leave it in there, put the side panel back on, because I need to help. I need to start tidying this room. And when the room's tidy, I can get back and put my full attention on this machine. But until I get a reply, hopefully sometime today, and a replacement, Ben's PC is again on hold. So watch this space, and I will update you soon. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta!